Colonel James Manni, Rhode Island State Police, joins us just as he's ready to leave us. He's retiring, but he's not quitting. He's going to run South Kingstown as a town manager. Colonel, thanks for coming in.
Good morning, Gene.
Good. I want to get. We're going to have a little fun toward the end of the interview because you've got some good stories. But let's nail down some unfinished business. You just told Block Island a couple of days ago they're not going to get any state troopers because they don't want to pay for them. Just level that for me.
Yes. So, Gene, we've served, I was a trooper on Block Island for 11 summers, 4 full-time, 7 part-time. Mm-hmm. I have a great connection to Block Island. Rhode Island State Police is short 52 troopers right now, which is creating overtime every single day, every single shift. We reached out to Block Island a year ago, made them aware of this, and asked that they help us reimburse for any troopers that are working on Block Island.
You offered, say, give me $68,000, I'll give you 2 troopers. That's a bargain. You were looking for some money, not what it completely takes to fund 2 troopers.
Well, the offer was 2 troopers for 6 months for the base rate of 1 trooper of $68,000. Exeter hired 2 troopers at that price. The Turnpike and Bridge Authority hired 2 as well.
Okay, well, coming into the summer, you may be gone before that's resolved, but right now, no troopers going out to Block Island. Why are we short so many troopers? Why?
Well, I think that first of all, we have a class, a state police academy with 33 recruits currently in Foster right now, going through the process. They won't be on until August. So we've had many people retire in the past few years. We have not had a class in the past 3 years. So we're short. I mean, it just happened that we came up with this number. It's a large number.
Right. Now, when you fill those seats, there's a big push for diversity. In fact, since you took over as the colonel. By the way, you were a state trooper for many, many years, and then you went away, and then you came back under Governor Raimondo. You served Governor McKee. This push for diversity, tell me about that.
Well, I truly believe that any law enforcement agency should reflect the population it serves. So diversity within the ranks of every law enforcement agency is a priority. The state police has come a long way since I came on in 1990, and it is a very diverse, well-rounded cadre of troopers.
Right. To succeed you, have you made a recommendation to the governor, or you're leaving that up to him?
I've met with the governor many times and gone over a transition plan, and the governor has interviewed several internal candidates, and ultimately it's up to the governor to appoint who he feels is best.
You have a favorite?
Well, I gave the governor my recommendations, and it's up to him to make the decision.
Do you want to share that or no?
I'm sorry, I can't.
That's fine. Fair question and a fair answer. Let's move to being a state trooper. You know, you're challenged by the side of the road. We've had troopers killed in Massachusetts. And I see, just coming up today, they were pulled over a big tanker that appeared to be leaking something to me. And then you've got the defund the police movement. It's not particularly enjoyable to go into law enforcement these days, is it?
I feel the profession of law enforcement is one of the greatest noble professions there is. And I wish I could rewind the clock and start all over again. But it is a very difficult, dangerous, challenging profession, especially in these times.
What would you say to someone who wants to defund the police? Some of the far-left politicians have even tweeted out, abolish the police.
Well, I think defund the police is a ridiculous concept, to be quite honest. We've been underfunded for decades, so to defund any police agency is tweaking, okay. Defund, no. We've been very lucky in this state as a whole. Our elected officials and our residents have really supported all law enforcement for the past several years.
You know, your plate has been filled with more and more things. We know the state police patrol the highways, Route 95, 295, and other the rural areas of Rhode Island. But you have financial crime to deal with, and you were the first one to uncover the big fraud with the unemployment money. Do you have enough money? Do you have enough people to go after these things?
Well, the agency needs to expand because of the investigations, the complex investigations we're doing, the Detective Bureau. We have 80 troopers in there. We need to expand that. Internet crimes against children. That's the firewall for protection of our children in this state. Financial crimes, special victims unit dealing with sexual assaults and domestic violence. So yes, those areas need expansion for sure.
I mean, I know you said you're short 50 troopers, but you may be, for these kinds of things, you may be short 150. I don't know. The mission is changing.
We're the smallest state police agency in the country, by far. Delaware has 700 troopers, which is small, a small agency. Massachusetts State Police has 2,500 troopers. Connecticut State Police, 1,200 troopers. We need to get up to the 325 number. That's the number that will fully staff every unit that we have.
All right, now Delaware, small state. I believe we have more people than Delaware here. They have more area, but they outflank us. Is it almost 2 to 1 at least? Well, more than that.
It's about 3 to 1, but not to be misleading, they also have resident troopers that patrol in towns with no police agencies. But even if you take those numbers out of it, they're still double the size of by troopers in Rhode Island.
Now, on your watch, you've had some troopers leave here to go to work in Massachusetts. They pay better. It's right there.
Well, on my watch, none have left. They were taking the test to leave, but none have left as of yet.
All right, but you know they may leave. This has been an ongoing problem. They see greener pastures.
Well, in the beginning, I would say they may leave. We've really made some great strides in the benefit package and pay for troopers here in Rhode Island and the working conditions. So I'm very hopeful that we won't lose any.
All right, let's talk a little bit about your particular career. 28 years, Rhode Island State Police, and you left, you came back. Sum it up. Greatest years of your life?
Well, I've had 35 years in law enforcement, in the Secret Service and the State Police. Absolutely the best years of my life. Like I said, I wish I could rewind the clock, start over.
Why are you leaving?
Well, everyone has, it's been a great ride, and everyone has a shelf life, but nothing lasts forever. Well, everything good must end at some point. And it's time to leave it for someone else to carry on the mission of the state police and public safety.
You know, in your position, you have to deal with a lot of politics. One governor thinks one way, one governor thinks another way. You've got competing interests with the legislature. Does that factor in, or I'm just leaving on my own? I've had enough, and it's time to go do other things.
No, I was not looking to leave. I'm going to be the town manager in the town that I lived in for almost a decade. For 22 years, actually.
South Kingstown.
South Kingstown. So this came up. I was not looking to go to anywhere else. My resume was not out there. And I was a town manager in Narragansett for a while. I loved that job. And I'm going back to being a town manager, which is a job I will enjoy.
You know, some of the headlines comes out of South Kingstown. That's a tough council to work with sometimes. And I see that there's a look. You had a beach brawl down there. Remember that? You've had a few other things.
Well, I was in Narragansett, the beach brawl.
But you've had similar incidents
listen,
there.
all councils have, everyone that gets in the political arena, not any one council's tougher than the other.
All right, so you're looking forward to South Kingstown.
I am.
Now, you live there, so you know it. By the way, you told a funny story once. Your mother, who just recently passed away, was it your first day on the job that she spotted you on the highway? I think this is one of the funniest stories I've heard.
Well, Gene, I've never told this story publicly, but so I was on the state police for about 3 hours, and a senior trooper was breaking me in. We were on a car stop, Route 95 North at exit 5, and a van pulled behind us, and the trooper said, well, these people, two old ladies, said, go see if they want directions.
Right.
Well, I recognized it was my aunt's vehicle with my mother in it, and when I walked over, she handed me a bag of spinach pies, and I said, Ma, you can't. She goes, how's your first day going? I go, Ma, you can't stop on the highway and give me spinach pies. So I brought him back. The trooper said, well, who was that? I said, well, it's my mother and my aunt, and these are spinach pies. He just shook his head and put his head down and continued to write the ticket.
That is one of the funniest, real Rhode Island stories.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
By the way, this dog, Ruby, that's getting all the attention in the movie that's on Netflix, you were against Ruby to begin with, or you were questioning of Ruby?
Well, I'm not going to say I was against Ruby.
Nobody's against Ruby, but you were skeptical.
I was a patrol commander at Wickford Barracks 10 years ago when Sergeant Zarella brought Ruby to the barracks for the first time. And, we're used to these majestic Belgian Malinois or German Shepherds, and he showed up with a rescue dog, this little fluffy rescue dog. We nicknamed her Fluffy, by the way. But she turned out to be one of the biggest successes of Rhode Island State Police. We're very proud of her and her handler.
And the publicity, you can't buy this kind of publicity.
You can't. #2 in the world on Netflix, #3 in the United States, from what I understood.
Well, thanks for your service. Thanks for coming in. It's been a pleasure to work with you, and good luck in South Kingstown.
Thank you very much, Gene.
We'll see
Appreciate
you.
it.
Colonel Manni, thanks.